The story begins with a notorious criminal named Frank Morris, who is being sent to a high-security prison named Alcatraz. The Alcatraz prison is built on an island in the middle of the sea, from which no prisoner has ever escaped. But Frank is famous for escaping from jail. He has already escaped from many jails. However, no one has ever even thought about escaping from Alcatraz, let alone doing it. As soon as he arrives at the jail, Frank is first thoroughly searched, after which he is sent to his cell, where he now has to spend the rest of his life. The next day, at breakfast time, Frank meets an old prisoner named Litmus, who has kept a mouse as his pet. During his conversation with Litmus, Frank's eyes fall on another prisoner named Wolf, who is openly harassing him. But Frank ignores him and continues his conversation with Litmus. A little later, he is called to the warden's room for a briefing, where the warden threatens him, saying not to try to escape from here because many like him have tried, but no one has been able to escape. During the warden's speech, Frank steals a nail cutter from his room. Although it is a very small thing, but Frank knows that in a jail like Alcatraz, even a small thing can be very useful. And that's why, as soon as he returns to his cell, Frank hides that nail cutter inside a Bible. A little later, during a group shower, Wolf once again comes to Frank and starts harassing him again. But this time, Frank is not in the mood to ignore him, and he grabs Wolf and starts beating him. His behavior builds a reputation for him inside the jail, after which no one messes with him unnecessarily. Gradually, the jail library becomes Frank's second home, where he meets the jail librarian, English. English has also been sentenced to life imprisonment in Alcatraz, due to which English has now given up all desire to get out and keeps his mind occupied with books. Actually, both English and Frank love books written on history, which leads to a good friendship between them. During this time, Frank meets another inmate named Doc, who is an amazing artist and spends most of his time painting. Doc believes that any man can go crazy in a dangerous prison like Alcatraz, but his habit of painting has kept his mind sane so far. That same evening, a guard tells Frank about a carpenter's job, which also offers a wage of 15 cents per hour. But troubles are soon going to increase for Frank. One day, when all the prisoners are out of their cells, Wolf returns once again. This time, he also has a weapon, with which he wants to attack Frank. But at the last moment, Doc alerts Frank, after which Frank blocks the attack with the help of his jacket. Now a fight breaks out between Wolf and Frank, and when the guards try to stop them, Wolf attacks the guard as well. After this, both of them are sent to the solitary confinement of D Block. In solitary confinement, the prisoner is kept alone. It is a cage where no prisoner wants to go, and now Frank has to go to this cage just for defending himself. He is very angry about this. After staying in that cage for 2 weeks, when Frank is released, Litmus sends a welcome note through his mouse to make Frank happy. After returning, Frank also befriends his neighbor, Charlie, who is serving a sentence for a very big theft. He tells Frank that he greatly regrets escaping by crossing the border because this mistake of his made the crime even bigger. The next day, the warden decides to tour the jail without telling anyone. During the tour, he sees his portrait in a prisoner's cell, which he likes very much at first. But the very next second, he gives an order to remove all the paintings made by Doc from the jail. His decision completely breaks Doc from the inside because Doc is alive only with the support of his paintings. He loves every single painting he makes. Frank tries a million times to explain to Doc, "It's okay, brother, it was just a painting. We have to live here, right?" But Doc is unable to come out of this shock. And one day, during his shift, Doc's 3 fingers are cut off, which is a kind of rebellion against the warden. As soon as this happens, the guards immediately send a message to call the doctors, while on the other hand, Frank is standing quietly and just watching. That night, when Frank is sitting in his cell, his eyes fall on a cockroach coming out of the vent. Seeing this, Frank realizes that maybe this vent is a way to a door that leads outside. Just then, English tells him that the warden actually had all of Doc's paintings removed because he didn't like his own portrait. The next time they are eating, Frank meets 2 brothers named John and Clarence, who recognize him from a previous jail visit. And now, during their conversation, they are talking about Alcatraz, about how it is impossible to escape from this prison because the prison is surrounded by water on all sides. According to them, they will have to spend their whole life here. But this conversation plants the seed of a new idea in Frank's mind. And now Frank wants to make history. He wants to become the first person to escape from this prison. That night, Frank starts chipping away the cement around the grill in his room with the help of the nail cutter stolen from the warden's room. And as soon as he hears the guard's footsteps, he hides the nail cutter in the Bible and pretends to read it so that no one suspects him. With time, his hard work starts to pay off, and slowly the cement around the grill starts to weaken. Meanwhile, during visiting hours, when English and Charlie go to meet their family members, English is very hesitant to talk to his daughter because his daughter has grown up a lot in his absence, and English feels very sorry for not being able to see his daughter's childhood. Meanwhile, during a visit with his wife, Charlie finds out about his elderly mother's deteriorating health. According to the doctor, Charlie's mother now has only a few months left. And this very thing creates a desire in Charlie's mind to escape from Alcatraz. The next morning, during breakfast, Frank presents his escape plan to John and Charlie. According to Frank, the salt water and air have weakened the jail building considerably, due to which they can scrape out the cement and remove the ventilation grills. After that, they will pass through those grills, reach the pipelines, and escape from there. But the question still remains: they will get out of the jail, but how will they cross the sea? To this, Frank says that Clarence works in the prison's clothing department, so he can steal raincoats and a little bit of rubber cement one by one. With all this, we will make a raft and life jackets. Everyone likes Frank's plan, and they all decide to work on this plan together. At night, Frank gets busy removing the cement in his cell as usual, and this time Charlie is also with him, keeping a watch from his cell so that no guard finds out about their plan. Frank's work is getting done, but because the nail cutter is small, it is taking a lot of time to use it, and a lot of effort is also required. The nail cutter is not very sharp either, so more force has to be applied. Because of this, Frank's hand also gets quite injured, which is now bothering him a lot. That's why the next morning, he tells everyone about this problem. And now, according to them, they need a bigger and more powerful tool. But just then, Frank's eyes fall on his spoon, and he immediately rubs his spoon on his shoe to make it dirty. After that, he calls the guard and complains about the spoon being dirty. The rest of the people also support him and request the guard to change the spoons. The guard also doesn't find anything wrong with this and easily agrees to change their spoons. But as soon as they go to the front desk to change the spoons, John distracts the guard present there with his talk, taking advantage of which Frank puts an extra spoon in his pocket. And that isn't enough for him, so he trades his share of 20 days' dessert with litmus in exchange for the rest of the materials. After this, Frank melts the spoon and joins it with the nail cutter and a coin to make a new tool, which proves to be much more effective than the nail cutter. That night, when Frank is rapidly scraping the cement, a guard comes there, whom Charlie doesn't notice. But fortunately, at the last moment, English intervenes and distracts the guard, which gives Charlie a chance to punch the jail bars hard to alert Frank. As soon as he gets the signal, Frank immediately hides all the stuff. They are saved this time, but now Frank understands that he cannot fully trust Charlie. In the next few days, Frank understands that there are also screws fixed inside those grills, which they need a new tool to open. During this time, whenever Frank gets a chance to go out, he quietly drops the cement from the grill outside. While working at the carpenter shop, Frank secretly prepares a small tool. But to get it out of the shop, Frank has to get it past the metal detector. And for this, he keeps a rotten piece of iron in his hand. And when the metal detector's alarm rings, Frank hands that same rotten piece to the guard, while his real tool is in his shoes. As soon as he reaches his cell, he opens the grill with the help of that tool, beyond which lies a web of pipelines, which might also become their path to freedom. But Frank knows that they need even stronger planning. And that's why they decide to make fake heads, with the help of which they can deceive the guards. Now they immediately start gathering materials, in which John's job is to collect hair from the barber shop, while Charlie is going to arrange for paint. And Frank, with the help of English, collects many newspapers. As soon as all the materials are gathered, Frank immediately gets to his work. He first mixes the newspaper with the cement taken out from the wall to prepare the structure of a human skull, on top of which they will put paint and hair to deceive the guards. To make their plan stronger, Charlie makes fake grills that look like the real ones, which they will put in place of the grills while escaping, so that no guard notices that the grill is not fixed here. One night, Frank decides to go up alone, for which he uses that fake skull and fake grill. But after reaching the top through the pipeline, Frank sees an iron door, which he cannot reach alone. And at that very moment, a guard is making rounds of all the cells. And when he reaches Frank's cell, he gets suspicious, but despite this, they somehow manage to deceive the guard. And now they understand that their plan needs some changes. The next morning, Frank and Charlie talk about the incident that happened last night. But by then, John and Clarence have also made their own fake skulls, after which everyone decides to move forward with this plan. That night, John and Charlie once again go near that iron door, and with each other's help, they reach the door. As soon as they hold it, they realize that they can cut this door. But for this, they need quite advanced tools. The next day, during music class, Charlie's eyes fall on an old fan. Seeing it, he feels that they can use it as a tool. And that's why he makes a deal with Litmus in exchange for all his dessert. Now, to take the fan out of the class, Charlie puts it in an instrument box, with the help of which they easily come out. As soon as that fan comes into Frank's hands, he immediately starts making a tool out of it. After that, they again go to that iron door, and this time, with the help of this new tool, they cut that door. In the meantime, they also make a lot of noise, the sound of which even reaches the guards. But the guards, without thinking much, ignore it. Here, the path for Frank and his companions is ready, after which they decide to escape from the world's most secure prison, Alcatraz, on Tuesday night. But on Tuesday morning, during breakfast, Frank places a flower on the table in memory of Doc, which the warden immediately notices. And he reminds Frank of the jail's rules and crushes that flower. Litmus gets very angry at this behavior of the warden. But as soon as he moves forward to attack the warden, he suddenly has a heart attack and falls down. A little later, the warden suddenly searches Frank's cell but finds nothing there, due to which he is very angry. And in this anger, he gives an order to change Charlie's and Frank's cells. Meanwhile, Wolf is also released from solitary confinement, and now he is fully ready to attack Frank again. But as soon as he moves forward to attack, English catches him in between. That night, Frank, John, Charlie, and Clarence decide to meet in the pipe. But at the last moment, Charlie gets very scared and decides not to be part of the plan. But the remaining three are moving forward exactly according to their plan. And here, Charlie's dream of freedom is slipping away before his eyes. Meanwhile, crossing that door, Frank and the others reach the roof, where they have to avoid the searchlights. However, Charlie also finally makes up his mind to escape from the jail. After this, he runs at full speed through the pipeline and reaches that iron door. But now he cannot cross that door alone, which means he has lost his chance of freedom because of his fear. On the other hand, avoiding the searchlights, Frank, John, and Clarence reach the jail wall. They see if there is anyone around, and then they quietly cross the wall and come out of the prison. Now all three prisoners cross a road and reach the seashore. They know very well who has to do what. And all three are doing their work quietly and quickly. They quickly start filling the boat with air. Inflating it by mouth is a very difficult task, but still, to save their lives, all three manage to do it. And now, they enter the sea to go far away from the borders of Alcatraz forever and ever. The next morning, when the guards come on rounds, at first, everything seems completely normal. But then they see that Frank is still sleeping. As soon as they remove the sheet from Frank's face, they are shocked, because today something has happened that they had never even imagined. This news spreads throughout the jail that some prisoners have escaped. Frank had placed the fake skull where his head should be. The guards immediately sound the alarm, and soon it is also revealed that 2 more prisoners have also escaped. Soon, the search for all 3 begins. Boats, as well as helicopters, are being used to find them. But despite this, no trace of Frank, John, and Clarence is found. And now some police officers are thinking that maybe all 3 have drowned and died in the sea. But deep down, the warden knows that they have escaped, and someone has succeeded in breaking out of the prison called the most secure in the world. But the warden also has the responsibility to save the jail's honor, due to which he declares all 3 of them dead in front of the world. But the truth is that nobody believes the warden's story. This is a true story, after which Frank becomes famous all over the world as the genius who broke jail. A secret search operation is also carried out for a year, but no bodies are ever found. This means that they succeeded in escaping. The story ends here.